Hey, should we watch a Swedish horror film?
Yeah.
I guess so. We're leaving all that in, right? Like, that's the opening
Oh,
of the show.
I've been recording.
I didn't even realize we were recording.
You think I would let any of this go?
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Stevecast. I am Steve. We got a full squad today, joined as usual by Rachel and Matt.
Hi.
And special guest, the Lord of Sweden, I assume is his official title, Mr. Borp.
The Lord of Sweden.
Ooh, Mr. Borp. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. We've been trying to get you on again for a second time. There was an infamous...
There was no first time.
There was a first time.
There was a lost episode of the Stevecast, which will likely never see the light of day. It's been buried in the Outpost unknown vault. It will probably never ever come out. But this is the second time. This is our apology episode to Borp because his first episode never made it to air.
Yeah,
You let me pick the movie this time.
Can you
That's-
do as bad
that's
as
never-
Matt?
That's
We
never
will
going to
see.
happen again.
So sample that and then put it on the front of Ninja Vengeance.
Thank you for making me have to do work by bleeping that out.
You're welcome.
Yes, I have no idea what to expect out of this movie. Borp, it sounds like you have seen this before. I don't want any spoilers, but can you just give us like a very high-level overview, if not of the movie itself, then of why exactly you picked this?
Yeah, why are you putting us through this?
Okay, I'm putting you guys through this because this movie has gained kind of a little bit of a cult status here in Sweden. In around 2000, I probably heard about this movie for the first time when it like came out on like Swedish horror like message board. People were kind of interested because it was a Swedish horror film. Then the trailer came out, and everyone's like, "Oh, okay, this is going to be complete garbage." Then I didn't hear about the film for like 4 or 5 years, and then at some point it gained a little bit of a cult status because a reviewer on YouTube, who was actually pretty popular, did a he was kind of doing like the whole nostalgia critic thing of like going through a movie, you know, scene by scene and kind of dissecting it, and that video he did of this movie ended up going viral to the point where like I looked at the statistics for that video before doing this, and Sweden is a country of 10 million people. This is a YouTube video spoken in Swedish, so it's not going to have like international appeal, and it has like 1 million views at this point. So it's a really big like meme movie, I guess, over here. You would liken it to something like The Room. And
So what you're saying, Borp, is we have to get this episode up immediately, and you're going to promote it to all 10 million people.
oh
in
yeah,
Sweden.
for sure.
We welcome our Swedish subscribers.
Yes, Matt, I want you to go to the video on YouTube and just try to read the description.
Oh, I just use Google Translate.
No,
And
no, that's not fair.
Okay, well, hold on. Let me translate back to Swedish.
I don't want you to translate it. I want you to try to read the Swedish.
Okay. So Borp, I don't know Swedish. I don't know if you know
No.
that about me. I don't know Swedish, and I've never actually really tried to read Swedish before. So I'm going to read this out loud, and then
Okay.
you can tell me how close I am to pronunciate the pronunciation of these words.
Should we do this like word by word, or?
No, I'm just going to
Let
read
him
like the
just
first
do it.
sentence.
And Borp, at any time, feel free to just cut him off and say, no, stop.
Ja.
Okay.
Okay. Den tredje långfilmen jag regisserade och har mer eller
Okay,
mindre...
stop.
All right. I know, I'm perfect. I'm so
made it
good. You
further
want me
than
to...
I thought.
Okay, you nailed it. I'm just gonna read it. Den tredje långfilmen jag regisserade och har mer eller mindre fått kultstatus.
I'm pretty sure that's exactly
Yeah,
what
that's
it is.
exactly what
pretty
Matt
much-
said.
Yeah, okay. You're right. I'm sorry. Continue.
I'm
Now,
not continuing.
now I do
Don't
want to know.
stop.
Now I actually want to know what this says.
Okay, I'm going to right click. I'm going to go translate to English. The third feature film I directed and has more or less achieved cult status, thanks in large part to @Monty Fianton.
Yeah, that's the
now-
reviewer.
Okay, now you have the opportunity to watch the entire film. The quality is not the best, but it's possible to both see and hear. So that's
Pictures and sound?
that's as far into it as I'll go because it looks like he's describing the film after
Yep.
that. So
Yeah.
I will.
And I think this film is like, it's kind of his riff on Lucio Fulci's House by the Cemetery. I think
my.
that's what he's going for. He's also called himself the Dario Argento of Sweden.
He
So-
calls himself that.
Yep, he calls
like which
himself that. No, he
which
tried-
era
he-
of Dario Argento are we talking?
Yeah. He tried to do like a Kickstarter thing, and he had this this whole page where he was apparently in talks with Uwe Boll to like have
Well.
Uwe Boll
Well, there we
produce
go.
one of his films. I don't know if
Credibility
that was just
established.
I don't know if that was complete bullshit or not. And then in that same like Kickstarter, he said that he was the Dario Argento of Sweden. And now, after all of this, after all the memes and things like that have happened, he's come back around and he's like, oh well, this was actually a comedy. I made this. This is bad on purpose.
Okay.
Ah,
So how do you
yeah.
pronounce his last name? It's Daniel. Was it Lehmusaari?
Lehmusaari. I think that's a Finnish name. So I don't put this all on Sweden, please.
Here we go again. Here
The
we
Finns are to blame.
Starting more wars over there.
go, right? You weren't happy just coming after Norway, huh? All right.
Okay, well, I'm actually looking forward to this. I
Yeah,
mean,
I'm
I
excited.
have seen a few Swedish horror films before. Obviously, Let the Right One In is probably the one that most modern people know. But Hour of the Wolf, obviously, Ingmar Bergman, that's probably the most famous for film aficionados of that time. And I was reading a little bit about Swedish horror before this, and I saw an article from the Swedish Film Institute that said there's only 60 to 70 horror films, in all of Sweden in the entire history of film, which is interesting because, I mean, maybe we'll just watch them all. And I have seen Evil Ed. That's a Swedish horror film, too. I've seen that.
Right.
Yeah. So,
You will not have to read subtitles because they made the baffling choice to film this in English with non-native English speakers.
What?
yes.
Awesome. Those are the
yes.
best kind.
So we can focus on the see and the hear.
Exactly. The quality is not the best, but you should be able to see and hear this movie.
Awesome.
Oh,
Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
Ra-
I'm excited.
Rachel.
Let's do it.
Yes.
No, wait,
Hold
wait,
on, hold
but
on,
first
hold on.
talk to Rachel.
I want to ask Rachel a fucking
And
question.
I'm giving you permission to do that.
All right,
Rachel,
Daddy.
how do you feel about Swedish horror, and have you delved much into the Swedish horror stuff? What are your thoughts going into this?
So
House
I
of
have
Orphans.
no expectations. I did not know what we were watching until you literally started talking about it 30 seconds ago. The only Swedish horror film I've seen for sure is Let the Right One In, and then I guess you could kind of argue it's more thrillery, but I've seen the original versions of the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo movies. So I mean I have kind of an expectation of quality because everything I've seen from there has been pretty excellent.
That's
Oh,
true.
no.
And I'm
Oh, no.
sure that streak is going to continue today, right, Borp?
Yeah. That's a good point, Rachel. We in America only get the best Swedish films over here.
Yes,
Like we don't
yes.
know. Like obviously the people are probably making films all the time in Sweden, but are they all trash? And there's just one or two golden great films that come out once every 10 years, and that is how we view Swedish film. It's like, wow, that was really good. And then Borb's like, no, man, our film industry here is bad.
Barbo.
Sweden produces a lot of good stuff. I just think horror is this difficult thing where we don't really we haven't had a culture of making horror movies. So a lot of modern filmmakers, it feels like they're not doing something original. They're just trying to emulate something else, right? They're
Yeah.
trying to emulate
Yeah.
American horror, setting a slasher in a Swedish boarding school. That's a famous
Well, Borp.
yeah.
Borp, like I said, and I'm throwing this out to Daniel Lehmusaari right now. So
Yeah.
I'm calling dibs on this, Daniel. I know you're listening to this podcast. I know you're absolutely interested to hear what we think of House of Orphans. Spoiler, it's not going to be great. But Borp and I, in 2029, Donald Duck goes into public domain, and we are going to make a Donald Duck Swedish horror film. I'm calling it. That is what we're doing. So. Yep. We're gonna spend the next 6 years or whatever writing the script, getting it just perfect. We will fly to Sweden. We will shoot it on location, and we will use Swedish actors speaking Swedish. Borp will be our translator. You'll be able to translate the actors to me, and we will.
Yeah, you can do it like it's an American coming to Sweden. Or I shouldn't give away script ideas.
Can I just? I mean,
bleep it.
Yeah.
Borp, how tough would it be for us to just get Swedish citizenship? Then we can actually say we're Swedes making this Donald Duck horror film.
Get some fucking founding from the Swedish Film Institute. We can do this.
It's done. It's already done, Danny. Sorry.
Let you guys dig deeper and deeper.
Okay. With that, everybody, we're going to watch the first 15 minutes of House of Orphans. This is available on YouTube. We'll post a link down in the description of this so you can follow right along.
I think the actual title of this movie is The House of Orphans, but if you search for that, you can't find it because the director put it up as House of Orphans. He just didn't put the "the" in there.
I wonder if you Google House of Orphans, what actually pops up.
Hang on.
Oh, Steve, does Daniel got a Twitter? Because clearly,
he definitely seems like the type of person who would respond.
All right, Steve, come on now.
When you Google House of Orphans, you get something that says House of Orphans, Dunmore, Helen. House of Orphans is a rich, brilliant love story of history and change. I hope that's not what we're watching. That sounds terrible.
That's not this movie.
Okay, well, while Steve finds that Twitter, we are going to start the first 15 minutes of The House of Orphans, not to be mistaken with Helen Dunmore's House of Orphans, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play!
Yep.
Welcome to the punishment room. That's the alternate title of this podcast.
This sure is a movie that we're watching right now.
Why isn't the movie called The Punishment Room?
If we were only starting the YouTube channel now.
All right, Steve.
Matthew, you are not off mic or something.
We made it one segment and Matt broke something.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Matthew. We're going to put Matthew in the punishment room for this one. No, you're really not.
You sound very far away.
Yeah, you sound like you are broadcasting from the punishment room.
Oh, sorry, I have my
there
headset
we
up. I had the mic up. Sorry. Broadcasting from the punishment room.
How's the seeing and the hearing, guys?
Hearing is fine. Seeing is a little tough right now. I feel like someone forgot to take the lens cap off of this entire movie.
Agreed.
Yeah. The proper response was
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez,
all right, Steve, recap us. What's happened in the first 15 minutes?
The movie starts in 1975 where there's two random people out walking at night talking about Jesus, and then their dog runs away apparently, and the dog runs up to a house, and the guy goes up to the house. He follows his dog. The person he's with kind of meets up with him. He gets dragged into the house. And then when he reappears, like, his eyes have been gouged out. Is that what happened? Like, it's real. This whole movie's real fucking dark, so I couldn't really tell. I think his eyes were gouged out. And then it just cuts to like 2005, 30 years later
And in America,
apparently. And we have a girl who I think her name is Amanda, and she was having a nightmare. And so her mother and stepfather and another girl that I guess might be her stepsister. I wasn't sure if they were sisters or stepsisters. Anyways, everyone in the family comes rushing in to see what Amanda's doing, and the father's just like, or the not the father is just like, it's fine. It's just a nightmare. Go back to bed. And Amanda snaps at him like, "You're not my fucking dad. You'll never be my dad. I hate you. I never want to be a part of your family." Just fucking jumps down his throat, and he takes it in stride. And
Yeah.
apparently part of the issue is they're moving the next day, and Amanda doesn't want to go. She doesn't want to leave her friend. She doesn't want to leave her school. She actually asks, "Hey, can I just move in with my friend until school is done?" And the mom shuts her down and says, "Nope, we're all moving tomorrow." And so then it's tomorrow, and it's time to move, and we get some random shots of a bunch of American roads, and the Statue of Liberty is there to say hi.
This is such incredible filmmaking with like the stock footage of like the Statue of Liberty, New York skyline, and then it like cuts to the most Swedish looking ass road I've ever seen. They're driving an old fucking Volvo
With,
They could
with
cut all that
Swedish
out.
license plates on.
Yes.
There should have just been a black screen that lasted for 10 seconds, and it should just say "driving is happening," and then we cut to they're at the house now.
Driving is happening.
One drive later.
Yes.
What?
So they get to the new house, and Bruce, the not dad, goes up to open the door, and a guy named Jackson is just in his house, and Bruce is like, "What are you doing?" And Jackson says, "Oh, I saw something weird in the garden." And Bruce says, "Yeah?" And Jackson continues, "Oh, there were some kids giving us trouble." "Yeah?" "I thought I saw them in your house." "Yeah?"
Yeah?
And then finally, like, this conversation wraps up, and I guess like Jackson or the not dad Bruce, like, I guess broke the door handle off, because Jackson just hands it to Bruce, and Bruce is like, "Thanks, Jackson," and Jackson just walks off. Like, that's the end of his scene here. And then somehow this door handle makes it back into the hand of Amanda, and when she touches it, like, her eyes roll into the back of her head like the Undertaker, and she just falls backwards. And apparently it has had some sort of like strange reaction to the door handle.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
they drag her in.
Yeah.
She wakes up. I guess they're very happy that, I don't know, she didn't kill herself by falling backwards after touching the mystical door handle. But they're trying to get info about the house, and so they're like, "Hey, let's go ask Bruce." And so we go back outside to see not the dad Bruce, and he's like, "I love my house. Do 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 do. This house makes me happy." Dun, dun, dun. He's just singing this ridiculous
Cruel-
house song
Cruel
to
and
himself.
unusual punishment.
And so what they talk about, like, the house used to be an orphanage, blah blah blah. And so the girls, Amanda and sister, possibly stepsister, they go into the house to start investigating, and they find a box with like a little floating skull in it, and they also find a diary that starts back in like 1899. And the diary writer is like, "Oh, we got another order of orphans today. We put them all in the punishment room."
Yes. Punishment room.
And then it's like the next day, it's like, "One of the children got out. He will be punished." And the caretaker started getting uppity. He was taken care of. But then the girls are like, "Hey, you want to go look for the punishment room?" "Yeah, sure." And they go off to look for the punishment
Yeah?
room. And that's kind of where we're at. They looked for the punishment room and may have successfully found it, or evidence pointing towards it? Question mark.
Yep.
I don't know what to
Matthew?
say.
Is the reason you won't ever let us come to your house because the whole thing is a punishment room?
Yeah?
It's just leather walls.
Like, what is happening in this movie? Like, this is just Bort made the comparison to The Room, and I can like absolutely see that here. 'Cause it's just a
Yes.
bunch of complete randomness, and I feel like you're supposed to think that there is some sort of overarching plot at this point, but I don't see it, and I don't think it's there, and I would like to yell at this guy, but I couldn't
Did
find
you
him on
find his Twitter?
Nope, I didn't.
What?
I do have Michael Dudikoff, friend of the show, pulled up in case we need to talk to him tonight.
I mean, you could try.
I mean, Steve, retroactively, this is supposed to be a comedy, right? So
Oh, yeah.
look
Yeah,
at it
yeah,
in terms of a comedy lens here. Comedy lens. I was on IMDb. I was trying to see, like, surely there are some fast facts about this movie. There are none that I can find. However, I will read.
Wait,
this
log
first-
into IMDb and leave a trivia comment that says this movie is not a comedy.
I can actually do that, yes. But I want to read this review of it. that this guy did here. I don't know the name. Oh, Mary Water. Mary Water wrote this in 2015. Why was this ever produced? Being Swedish speaking, I can inform the two previous reviewers that the director of this piece of garbage certainly is not capable of making something better in Swedish, as the acting and directing still suck big time. Ludicrous plot, exceedingly amateurish acting, and a total lack of humor makes Lehmusaari's attempts at least vain. I presume that even a team of high school students would be able to produce a more entertaining picture than this. Swedish cinema isn't what it used to be.
Wow.
Merrywater bringing the fire on
Yeah.
Daniel here on IMDb.
Borp, does this get any better?
Yeah, no, it's gonna get.
Yeah?
Gonna get
See, he
worse.
goes, yeah?
Yeah.
But
Will there be boobs at least? Will we
No
get-
I don't
way. This guy
think
can't
so.
afford boobs.
I mean, like Europeans are like pretty free with the boobs, right? So
I don't think Daniel's got the cachet to get boobs in this.
When,
but
when was this made?
Yeah. And what was that?
2008, I think.
Yeah.
Sorry,
This,
Borp, I didn't mean to
this
cut
is
you off.
this is post the Grand Horror. Just letting you know.
Yeah, yeah.
We need to compare this to the Grand Horror, our film. And is it better or worse?
And is
I
the
don't
Grand
know yet.
Horror a comedy?
Yeah, of course it is.
Yes. No, but like this dialogue, it's like, you know, like Metal Gear Solid, you know, in that game where like every piece of dialogue where they need to keep the character talking, but they've talked for a little while, so they'll be like, and that's why we created Metal Gear, and Solid Snake will be like, Metal Gear, like they just repeat the last couple of words with a question mark at the end, but they didn't
Yeah.
even do that in this movie. They just say, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, cast.
Is yeah its own word in Swedish?
No.
So it's just yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What is yes in Swedish? Is it ja?
Did you say
No.
Swedish?
Listen,
Did.
Drink.
I'm on my third drink for 5 minutes. One segment in.
Swedish.
In the Swedish. No, but what is yes in Swedish? Is it ja?
It is y'all.
Okay.
Ja.
Thank you. I'm trying to have a cultural exchange here, Matthew.
No cultural exchange when shit
I'm
like
just-
this is in our eyeballs.
We are building bridges here on the Stevecast.
We're gonna be bigger than Donald Duck.
No NATO for Sweden thus far, but we've got another hour and 15 minutes to make that final determination.
I mean, Jesus.
I'm saying once again, I think this guy's of Finnish heritage, so you might make sure that the Finns
Listen
don't
to-
get into NATO as well.
Look at him.
Aren't they already-
distancing
are they in
himself
NATO?
from
I don't
this
even
movie.
know.
No. They applied with us.
Oh. Oh, you guys are so scared of Putin.
Wow. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
All right, so basically, everybody, that's the first 15 minutes of this very strange Swedish journey we are on currently. Let's go ahead and watch the next 15 minutes
We
of
have
The
to?
House of Orphans. We do.
Can we go back?
This is...
What?
Steve, I don't know what you're talking about, Steve. I don't know
Yeah,
what
that
you're
never
talking
happened.
about.
Do you remember when Matthew predicted barnyard sex in that movie? He said it and then it happened. He was the barnyard sex.
I
Nostradamus
don't
of that
have any
episode.
recollection of
The
what you are
Barnyard
saying
Sex
right now.
Nostr- I am changing Matt's name in my phone to that right now.
And we will start in 5,
Okay.
4, 3, 2. Fuck you, Rachel. Play.
Yeah.
Punishment room for you, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
What are these middle-aged ass old man noises I'm hearing?
Oh, punish.
Oh Lord! I just want to remind everyone that I was gonna do this sober, but you guys all twisted my dainty little lady arm and made
I
me
said
drink.
nothing of the sort.
I don't know.
You were worm-tongued by Steve.
Yeah, that's true. And Borp.
Yeah,
Borp
yeah.
got me too.
I just figured you might need a little something to get.
I mean, you were not wrong.
Yeah.
I have no idea what just happened. All of a sudden, we were
Oh.
back in time.
So is this like Pilgrims, like American Pilgrims? Is that what this is, or is this Swedish times?
The Old West.
Yeah, it's got to be because they're in America, right? So it's got to be like the
Yeah.
Pilgrims.
Yeah, it's like full Deadwood action with it, but with more lemonade.
I want to see when lemonade was created. Like who?
Yeah.
created
Yeah.
When was the
Do that.
invention of
Talk
lemonade?
that I come
Alright.
back to.
Also, like, okay, I'm
Oh,
pretty
here
sure
we
this flashback was like filmed at a like theme park or something like that because
Wow.
I'm pretty sure there were like signs that actually were in Swedish.
Wow. So we have roller coasters and y'all have
Lemonade.
Yeah,
Well, I don't know
town.
what to call it, like a Ren Fair or something, I guess. I
Oh.
don't know what the proper translation would be.
Borp, I'm drunk, but you should come to Nebraska in May.
Yeah, I know.
It'd be so fun.
August 20th, 1630 was the invention date of lemonade. Debuted in Paris. Made of
Bonjour.
sparkling water, lemon juice, and honey.
Sacre bleu.
Vendors sold it from
Leave
tanks
all this
strapped
in.
to their backs. Of course. All right, Steve, we are
This is
back.
Educational, okay? We are educating the masses. This is beautiful.
Minutes
Cultural
15,
exchange.
Yeah.
minutes 15 through 30 of The House of Orphans. Steve, take it away.
I don't know what happened. Like nothing happened. Like nothing happened in this 15 minutes, right?
You're so
Yeah?
pretty.
Yeah?
So I think this is the part where I reiterate that like the director of this film seems to be very inspired by like Italian horror, and a lot of those
And I
movies don't.
hate it.
Yeah, and a lot of those movies don't make a ton of sense, like surface level, right? Like if you scene by scene, but they keep thematic theme, the thematics, the stylistic aspects of the film, like tie it all together. And a lot of those filmmakers, they made films that didn't make sense, and they knew that they made films that didn't make sense, and they just had cool set pieces and shit like that.
And I
Borp,
hate them. I
Borp,
hate
I
movies
love
like
that you're going full film school on us here. I appreciate the film school knowledge you're dropping here, but I just came across something
Yeah.
that you were wrong about earlier
Okay.
on here. Daniel Lehmusaari, according to IMDb, he was born in Malmberget, Sweden in 1977. He's a Swede.
Oh,
He is
God.
not a
Oh,
Finn.
You have to
Alright.
claim him.
This is all Sweden's fault.
Okay.
Now,
All right.
go ahead and continue with your film school dissertation here.
No, so I think this is a thing where like he's very inspired by those types of movies, but he doesn't have the chops to like back that up. So what we end up getting is just a very, very confusing mess. And so in this section of the film, we have like two sequences back to back where she sees this ghost child and faints. And it's the exact same thing that happens.
We're just gonna breeze past the ghost child. We're not gonna act like we saw.
All right,
what we
let me,
saw.
What do we see?
Let me
Okay,
What do
like
we see,
try
Rachel?
to give you the little bit that I retained from
All
the
right, all
15
right, all right,
minutes.
all
All right. So the two girls have found the punishment basement, and they go exploring. And one girl, Amanda, finds a mirror, and she's like, "Oh, my mom loves like old creepy mirrors. I want to clean this up so I can give this to my mom as a gift." And so
And the other
she-
girl,
Yeah?
and the other girl is like, "Can we just go?" And she's like, "No, I want to give this away as a gift."
Yeah.
the other
Very
girl,
aggro.
the practical
Yeah.
girl, is like, "Yeah, I want no part of this, but yeah, I don't want to be down here in the punishment basement alone. So I guess I'm gonna follow you." And so Amanda starts cleaning the mirror. And in the mirror, she sees the body of a boy in potentially blackface, question mark.
Potentially, he says. Potentially.
Because I don't know, like, I don't
Is he
know.
just dirty? Is he like working
Wow.
in like chimney
Wow.
sweeps?
Wow.
No, like a chimney sweep. I don't know. I don't know.
Jesus.
We don't know yet,
There
Rachel. We
is
don't
a
know.
little boy in the basement who seems to be a ghost. The ghost boy.
dare
Steve's gonna send us
How
to the
fucking dare
punishment
you.
room, Rachel.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't.
Damn it, guys! I want this episode to air.
Anyways, there's a ghost. It scares Amanda, and so rather than like the door to this room is open, Amanda can leave. But instead of leaving with the sister, she just tells the sister, "No, go get mom and dad." And so she stays in the spooky punishment basement with the ghost boy. And so the other sister goes and gets mom and dad. But meanwhile, Amanda decides to like run for it anyway after like her partner has left her. Then she decides to run, and she trips, and Spooky Chimney Sweep like gets in her face with glowing eyes.
Chimney sweep.
I can't. Oh.
But then the rest of the family comes and retrieves Amanda, and she is passed out again. And a doctor says, "Yeah, you'll be fine. Just take these meds." She goes to then Amanda seems to be okay, but then she goes to take a bath, and Spooky Chimney Sweep shows up again.
Damn you, Borp.
And so she screams, and for like the 8th time in the movie, the family runs to see what's going on with Amanda. Then it cuts to the next day, and there's just this extended sequence of the two girls walking around with happy music playing in the background, and then they're trying to find directions to get into town, and so they go to.
Sorry for interrupting.
Stop it.
But
Matthew, stop it.
I can't stop.
Okay.
I'm gonna go on mute. Go ahead, Borp.
Okay. Okay, so this is one of those things where I was gonna make the comparison to something like a Lucio Fulci movie, right? Of like this whole sequence where they are eating breakfast and then say we're gonna go into town, and that's a way for like the parents to get away, and they say, okay, are you gonna go with us to town? And they're like, yes. But actually, we're gonna walk, and that's something like that would not happen. Like that doesn't make any sense.
What is that
What
sound?
are you doing, Rachel?
What the fuck is happening over there?
Sorry, I'm trying to open a new bottle. I had to put some elbow in it.
Sounded like you're in the punishment room, Rachel. That's what it sounded like.
Sorry.
Please continue, Borp.
No, but
Bless
I'm
Borp's
just saying,
heart, we're
like,
trying
it's
to
all
actually
this.
analyze this.
No, it's like it's all this like pretty hokey setup to get the girls to go to the neighbor's house, and then we get to the sequence that we're at now, paused, where we get a flashback where Mr. Jackson, because they go to his house to get directions to go into town.
And Jackson says, and I quote, "Come here, little girls. Jackson can help you."
Yes.
And suddenly Steve's in. He's in the
Yeah.
movie.
Well, no, that's actually very
First it was the
problematic.
back of knee
Rachel. So
cleave.
Steve is not all in on this. It's very problematic.
Like, he did not object to the back of knee cleave. So I'm
Okay.
just gonna
Back of
say,
the knee cleave.
yep. I asked, and you said yummy, yummy. So
Wait, I did not say that. So
It
you're,
was implied.
You're
It was
projecting
implied.
There, I believe.
it was implied.
Also, Rachel, I thought you opening the bottle was you literally struggling to breathe.
Little column A, little column
Yeah.
B.
Anyways,
So, we're at the Pilgrim
Jackson is
days.
telling them the backstory, and now we have time traveled back to Sepia Land, where there are some rich orphanage owners, and that's where
AKA
we're
an
paused.
amusement park.
I just figure, Borp, that because Europe is so old and ancient, that you guys would just have buildings that all look like this everywhere. You sure this just isn't like a downtown of some Swedish village?
No. It might be like a
Correct response would have
restored-
been, yeah?
Yeah.
Don't entertain this, Borp. Do not
No,
entertain this.
exactly. I think they found a location that looks old timey, and they took advantage of that situation.
It's good, and I would too. I want to give some
Yep.
props to Daniel Lehmusaari on this.
Mm-hmm.
There are a few shots sprinkled amongst the thousands that he's done in this that actually show a little forethought. I think it was actually in the previous segment, I forgot to mention it, but there's this sort of like push, sort of quasi-tracking shot on these characters that are around Amanda on the couch that I was like, okay, he's trying to do something a little different here. There's some Dutch angles, or we
Swedish
didn't know what they were,
angles.
Swedish angles. I thought maybe they were Finnish angles, but that turned out to be bullshit, Borp. So
Hey, I just said the guy's last name is a Finnish last name. I don't, he might
Okay.
not have, he might have been born here, but yeah, I,
You don't count him amongst your
Xenophobia.
people.
I was gonna say something bad.
Xenophobia.
I was gonna say
The
something bad.
racism is real strong in this episode.
Yeah.
It's nice
Against
to be the
chimney
least
sweeps.
problematic yet again.
Hey.
What?
Spooky chimney sweep.
Jesus Christ.
So this is where we're
Jesus
at.
Christ.
Jesus.
Jesus.
Okay, so we're in the middle of figuring out what the story is behind this orphanage. Of course, the 30-minute mark, we paused right in the middle of it. So Borp, you've seen this. Rachel, how do you feel this is going to play out? Because Jackson is telling this story, correct?
Oh God, please! I have no idea. I've
What-
completely lost the plot.
What happens? Okay, in your best guesstimation,
Okay.
what is Jackson going to tell these girls happened at this orphanage?
I mean, I think that there was. What did you
What?
say? I think there was a lot of orphan punishment in the punishment room, and
Of course, your mind would go there.
yes. Where would I get these wild ideas?
We've been watching this family-friendly film, and Rachel's like, orphan punishment.
I don't know. There was a
Listen,
there was a
I'm-
very steamy sex scene, Steve.
Yes. Tony the Tiger was in the house.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I purposely apparently forgot all about that. Thanks for bringing that one back.
Also, I did want to mention during this segment we get introduced to the character of Ashley, which is like the most famous meme from this film in Sweden because her the dubbing on her is just so bad.
Which
I
one was
just,
she?
Yeah, which one's Ashley?
Oh no! Oh, you guys.
There
missed it.
was a
I mean,
third
to me,
teenage girl
I
in
think
like one
she's, like-
scene. That was Ashley.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
I
she's
just remember clearance rack Freud. That's the thing that stood out to me.
Okay.
From this segment.
Well, listen. When Ashley speaks again, you'll hear her absolutely terrible dubbing.
What is the name of the sister? Has anyone figured that out yet?
There was Amanda and
Yeah, Amanda's the one that keeps fainting and is getting
Yeah.
haunted by the chimney sweep.
I don't know what the other girl's name is, but with Amanda, you'll hear the Swedish accents come out because they say her name as you would in Swedish would be Amanda, and they don't say Amanda, they say Amanda, which is pretty funny.
I'm just going to point out that if it turns out the story is they were using these orphans as chimney sweeps,
oh my lord!
I am going to never let you forget it, Rachel.
Did you hear that, Steve? He's never gonna let you forget.
Yep.
All right, well, that's it, folks.
Yep.
Let's start watching minutes 30 through 45. We're not quite
Still
halfway
have
through
an
yet.
hour left.
Oh
in
my
this
God!
Yeah.
There's so much left.
There is, and it's all going
I
to be
am
Swedish
going-
gold.
My liver is crying at this
Yeah?
one time.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
It says nah.
Okay.
Well, let's get you drinking some more in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play.
What a 15 minutes to summarize, huh, Steve?
Whoa.
It's
Whoa,
all
Bart.
it's
Whoa,
all
Bart.
This
it's
is a
all fun and
comedy,
games.
guys. Remember, this is a comedy.
It's all fun and games until minutes 30 through 45. Then shit gets real in Sweden.
Jesus.
All right. Well, let's talk about minutes 30 to 45 if we have to. That was our out. Do we have to talk about this?
Yeah.
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 Is Borp super loud for you guys or just me?
Oh, am I?
You know,
Okay,
sound
I
fine
can.
to
I
me.
can.
I know you're excited that this is to talk about this, but I need you to literally dial it down.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good. That sounds good.
All right. Okay.
Okay, minutes 30 to 45. Jackson continues to tell the
Borp's like,
story.
ain't nobody talking over me.
I might have been super loud this whole time.
No.
I can fix it
Okay.
in post.
All right.
Oh God! All right. Jackson continues to tell his story about this this crappy orphanage, and apparently, what was
Not
actually
chimney sweeps.
not
Oh, no.
chimney sweeps.
Oh,
No.
Yeah. Apparently, what was happening is these orphanage owners were pretty much selling these children into slavery. There's a couple of scenes where. Well, there's one scene where there's this kid that's crying because his mother is dropping him off at the orphanage, and like the angry male orphanage owner is like, "Stop crying! You'll never see her again. Wave to your mom." And the kid immediately stops crying and waves to his mom. And the next thing you see is I hear Rachel opening another bottle.
I know. It's like ASMR shit for me over here. Like,
The next thing you see is the lady that runs the orphanage inviting a guy down to, is it the guy? I don't know. One of the orphanage owners invites a guy down to examine the goods, and by goods I mean children chained to a wall. But the orphanage person's like, "Oh, look at this boy. He's good and strong. He'll be a good worker for you." And the guy's like, "No, I don't want him." And so the orphanage owner goes to a girl and say, "Oh yes, she's a young girl. She will serve you well." And the guy's like, "Oh yeah, I want her." And, Jesus Christ, Borp, what have you gotten us into?
Jesus.
Uh,
I love Borp. Like, we mentioned this because this is right after we just finished the 30-minute mark, and this boom just goes right into this. No heads up at all. And Borp in the chat room's like, "Oh, I didn't remember this scene, guys."
I had no recollection of that flashback, that whole thing.
Anyways, children are being sold into slavery, and there's one child that has like a plan to escape. And so he after apparently these orphanage owners are like into black magic or something, because you find out later they have actual like magic powers. But one kid is trying to escape, and so after all of the kids are put to bed, he gets stressed and he tries to sneak out, but he sucks at this, so he immediately gets caught. And so the orphanage owners are like, "You are going to sleep in the basement for a week." And so the guy takes the kid downstairs and just throws him throws him into the basement, puts him on it, and just beats the shit out of him. You see him punching and backfisting, and like child blood is getting splashed on the walls.
Not child blood.
Well, it's blood that came from a child. I stand by what I said. And then apparently later on, they're apparently just like, we're tired of this kid. I missed what made them change from "you were going to sleep in the basement for a week" to "we are just going to kill you." But regardless, at some point that switch happened, because then it goes to the guy putting on like this bloody butcher's smock, and he takes the kid downstairs, and the caretaker for the property, who somehow takes care of the property but didn't know that all of this was going on somehow, he goes to try to rescue the kid and completely fails. He gets hit in the back with an axe, and then the main orphanage owner guy cuts the kid's head off with an axe in this ridiculous air quotes special effect.
One fell swoop.
Yep. And then
CG blood all over.
Then the caretaker, who survived his axe wound to the back, goes outside and gets help. And so the orphanage owners are I guess they're about to be hung, and so the guy gets hung. But the girl's like, "I curse you all. I curse this town. You will never forget me." And she holds up her hands, and these like ridiculous like MS Paint lightning bolts like shoot out of her hands and start hitting people and making them explode. She sets the orphanage on fire. And I think someone ends up shooting her, and so then it cuts back to Jackson, who's finishing his story. And so he's telling this story to Amanda and her sister, and Jackson's like, the orphanage burned down from this magic lightning bolt, but the new house, the house that you're living in, was built on the old foundation, and the basement that you found is the original basement of the orphanage. I never go down there because shit's spooky." And so the girls are gonna just go off and I don't know, figure out their lives at this point. Then we cut.
Well, there's treasure down there.
That's right. There's treasure down there.
All the money that they made from selling these children is hidden down there in that basement.
And apparently the treasure is well known, because then two random people show up, and there's a girl and a guy who is called by the girl the fat one. And so
very problematic.
They are supposed to break into the house and find the treasure. And the girl promises the guy, "Hey, if you find me the treasure, I might," keyword might, "show you my tits." And so this guy is like, "Well, that's as close as I'm ever going to get. Might as well go for the treasure." And so now sorry, not the fat one, the person with strong bones is now in the basement and presumably is going to get killed by the ghost of someone.
Rachel, why do women always use their breasts for evil?
I mean, what's the point of having them if you're not going to wield them?
Touche.
Like, I grew them for a reason, but
So I could get treasure.
yes. Come here, Strongbone. Get me some treasure.
Come here, Strongbone.
Can we all just take a moment to, like, give credit to Borp for this god-level troll that he has inflicted upon us all today?
Respect.
Respect.
I gotta say now, you brought this up in the chat room, Rachel. Like, I don't think I should get any more shit for being the most problematic selector of stuff.
A new Supreme has risen.
Yes, a new Supreme has risen. I am dying.
I disagree because
Shut up.
This is Borp's one and only. Matt has had multiple problematic films.
This is beyond everything I could have put together.
I mean, I know that's how you want us to think.
This 15 minutes, Steve, is worse than anything that I've made us watch.
I don't know, man.
Name something. Name something.
If I name
just
it,
gonna
you'll
bleep
it
it.
out.
Yeah.
Just remember, Steve, I have all the original files.
And I see in the chat where Matt posted the box art of one of the most problematic movies.
I didn't post any box art
Rachel
in the
did.
chat.
Matthew
did.
did
I
it. You're
did
right.
not see
Matthew.
You guys are
That
blaming
is
me
correct.
for shit. I did not
You
do
were
it.
right the first time. Go with your first instinct.
I don't even know what that box art is, guys. You keep bringing it up.
Would
I
you
don't
like
know what
me
it
to
is.
describe it for you?
Nope. Nope.
But you can't see it, so how would you know? Maybe it was
Borp.
beautiful with
Borp,
puppies and
please explain yourself.
boobs.
Try to explain yourself.
Yeah.
Oh,
Try to keep these friendships going. You've got to the end of the segment.
Well, as I said, last time I watched the only time I've seen this full movie before, I was very drunk, and I remember it being a good time. That's
Rachel,
That's
is
why
this
I
a good time? You're drunk.
I mean, we're hanging out.
Oh, strong bones.
Strong bones, God.
I like that scene where they're outside the house. She's like, "Why do I have to go?" Oh, because you're the fat one. Like, it feels like they were supposed to write a bad fat joke somewhere in there, but they're like, "Oh
But
no."
instead, they wrote a great one.
No, instead they just wrote the fact that like, "Oh, you're fat. Whatever. Go in there."
Yeah. I will say, in seriousness, trying to bring this back to seriousness, when
Yes.
Yeah,
Children
yeah,
were
yeah.
violently murdered. Can we
No.
be serious?
Yeah,
please?
here's the thing. Like, if you're gonna put content like this in your movie, it can't be in the context of quote unquote humor, or at least you can't retroactively go back and say it's supposed to be for humor. Now, there are plenty of movies. There's a movie that is great that deals with child abuse. It's called The Girl Next Door. It is an incredibly harrowing film. No.
Isolate that audio.
You know what I mean. It's an incredibly harrowing film. It's based on a true story of this sort of family that did torture and do all these horrible things to this girl trapped in a basement. That's a serious film talking about a serious thing. This is goofball for the first 30 minutes and then suddenly goes into random horrible child abuse out of nowhere, and there's no sort of like rest of the movie to wrap around that to sort of make that important. And if I'm supposed to laugh at it, I'm not. So he failed as a filmmaker. I'm just kind of mortified. I'm like, what the hell is Borp making me watch here? So yeah, it failed.
Explain yourself, Borp.
Failed, Daniel.
Borpingston. Explain yourself.
Borpingston.
Rachel is so drunk right now.
Yeah.
Have I told you guys I love you? Because I do.
Can you imagine what May is going to be like?
It's going to be like this, except for you're going to be on my level. We're going to all be like, Borpingston, where are you?
He's over in Sweden having them strong bones.
Show us your funniest child abuse movie.
Oh. We got anything
That
else
would
to
be
say?
the wildest thing if I come back on in like a year or something and I pick another movie where I'm like, oh, I don't remember this part, and it's another Shia LaBeouf part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be the
Yeah.
theme.
Shame on us.
Every time Borp comes on, it's like, God damn it! Now we got to mentally prepare for child
Do you
abuse.
ever think a Borp episode will make it to air? Do you honestly?
This one has to make it.
Right?
I might do some selective editing. And this,
Oh, Matthew! Matthew!
This is not as bad.
Don't-
I will
don't be
maintain this is
afraid.
not as
Nowhere
bad
near
as the
as
last
bad
work of
As the
episode.
one time
episode.
that Matt picked a movie.
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah,
man,
I
it was ninjas. Those good guys. Yeah, do that slower, Rachel. Okay, that was too quick. That was too fast.
Hold on.
I missed my.
I stuck it back in. Hold on.
Oh.
There you go. that
Well
worked.
done. Well done.
Thank you. That worked.
Are we ready
That-
for the next
that got
15
me.
minutes?
Sounded a little bit like Donald Duck.
Borp, you should have
That
That
never
explains
told
the
us that that was a
confusing
thing.
boners.
Corkscrew. All right, guys.
Oh.
we are halfway through.
Yep.
The House of
No!
Orphans.
Let's go.
Yeah.
How
Yes,
is that
yeah.
possible?
Yeah.
Let's go.
I don't think I'm gonna make it in May.
Borp,
I'm
it's
gonna
like
be
it's like
dead.
3 in the morning with Borp, and he's like, "I want to go to bed. I want to go to sleep. Stop talking about this movie." So
Stop
we're gonna
talking
see.
about the child abuse.
But
yeah,
there's nuance. There's.
We're gonna watch the next 15 minutes of comedy child abuse hour
And
over
Ashley's
there in
back.
Sweden, 45 through
Ashley's
60.
back.
Ashley's back.
Yeah.
5, 4, 3.
She had
2,
one line in this scene, and it was filmed from the back of her head.
Plot.
It was iconic, though. It was iconic. Let's give it up to Ashley. It was iconic.
I don't even remember what she said. And
Wasn't
play.
she like boobs or something? I don't
She
know.
was the
Alright.
one that called the guy fat and with strong bones.
No,
right?
she wasn't.
No.
Oh,
Matt,
see-
I think she's
Oh,
like
wait,
the
who-
I think
There are now
she's the
4
daughter of
teenage
Jack.
girls in this movie.
Yeah.
Who is
What
the
are the
boob
names?
extortionist? Who is the boob extortionist?
She was a new
I-
character that just showed
Yeah,
up.
new character. I don't know if we know her name. Yeah.
Ashley
Alright.
is the girl who apparently lives by Jackson, or lives with Jackson, because the end of this segment before Strong Bones goes in the house is Jackson telling Ashley to go after Amanda and Amanda's sister, whose name we still don't know.
Right.
5, 4, 3, 2,
But-
1, play.
But I still don't know the name of the boob extortionist.
It's got to start with A because every other girl in this has a name that starts with A. So just pick one.
Okay.
God damn it! I've already pressed.
Alexandria. Play.
Okay.
Why? They think they're
Well,
making
that's the thing,
things
because remember Jackson said, "Hey, there's treasure in that basement from all the stuff, selling of the children." So people are trying to get the treasure down there in that basement, but it's just they're not going and doing it. They just talk about it, like, "Hey, there's treasure here." Well, yeah, go show me something, Daniel. Show me somebody going and trying to find the treasure. That's what I want to see.
You're breaking up a little bit for me, at least.
Thank God.
What do you think, Godding? I heard the end of that.
Rachel's back. Borp, explain yourself.
Yes.
No, they were asking why this, like, how could this be a cult classic? And I think it's just the
Slower.
strangeness of
Slower.
oh, jeez. Okay.
And she's done.
yeah.
Woo!
Rachel logs off.
Yeah, I mean, do you remember one of the most problematic thing in this movie was the smart face? And Borp's out here like, hold my Jägermeister Swedish fish or whatever it is you guys drink.
I don't think they drink Swedish fish.
Well, you're not trying hard enough then, Matthew. What is the Swedish like equivalent of like a Jägermeister? Like what is your national beverage?
Well, I don't know. I don't have a good answer to that.
Fermented snow.
Finnish tears.
Finnish
I get-
tears.
I guess I don't know like what this Jägermeister mean to you. 'Cause,
Like what do
we-
you have like we have like bourbon in America. Like what is the drink of your countrymen and women and gentle thems?
Yeah, like Scotland has scotch, right?
Yeah.
Jägermeister, is that German?
Yeah, I
Right?
think
In
so.
terms of like liquor, I don't know if we have. It's
Do you
mostly people
know
just
what
drink-
alcohol is in Sweden?
I mean, people just drink a lot of beer over here, man. Like I
That's how you get up
Gross.
with strong bones.
yeah.
Gross. Beer's
Yeah.
disgusting.
God, let's talk about what happens in this 15
Right.
minutes.
But we don't
Why?
know. We don't know what happened.
I'm going to do my best to,
Okay,
to
Steve, take it
recount
away.
what I remember. It starts with Strongbones, who is continuing to explore the spooky
Strongbones.
punishment basement, and then Lisa, who is Boob Lady, the boob
Boob
extortionist.
extortionist. her
Lisa
props.
comes up behind Strongbones and scares him, and she's like, I got you, and he's like, that's very funny, but how did you make like the creepy cold wind blow by? And she's like, I didn't make any creepy cold wind blow by. And then apparently they start hearing noises and shit, and so they run into a room. They can't get back out of the basement, so they find a room to hide in, and then
This all happened?
yes, this all
Yeah.
happened.
Jesus.
Okay.
This feels like an eternity ago.
And so Lisa's like apologizing. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have made you go in here. And then Strongbones gives her his shirt to keep her warm. And Strongbones is like, yeah, this is it. This is it. It's finally gonna happen. And then he dies because he goes to investigate another spooky sound that he heard. And then apparently Lisa dies too, because Amanda, who is now hanging out with Ashley and Amanda's sister, and they're very upset that there's no McDonald's. She starts seeing flashes.
What is this hate against Americana that is McDonald's? Tell me, do you guys have McDonald's in Sweden?
Of course, we have McDonald's.
And do you
McDonald's
like
are
it?
everywhere.
And do you like it?
I mean,
The answer is
like-
yeah.
Careful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the
Of
way,
course.
there was just a huge lightning bolt that lit up my man cave and a huge crack of thunder. So I might actually like drop out at some point. So
So you're gonna blame
Okay.
it on the
Also, there
storm.
was a lightning bolt here too. Like, are we all just ditching the show? What
No.
is happening?
no.
Oh, there was an earthquake. It's shaking.
Yeah, you guys are,
Guess I gotta
you
go.
guys are cutting out real bad on my end. I can't hear you anymore.
Sweden's like, the fjords are filling up. We
Love fjords.
Love fjords.
Ragnarok in your world. We should have got Borp on for Berserker, but we didn't know.
Yeah.
Is there a Berserker sequel?
There is not. I have looked.
No.
What?
Ragnarok in your love fjord. Yeah. That's part of our Swedish death metal band.
Anyway,
Right? That'll be the first
Amanda
single.
has visions of Lisa and Strongbones, their dead bodies. So she starts freaking out again, like her 7th or 8th time at this point. So they go and find her mom and stepdad, who were at a restaurant, and the parents make some weird offhanded comment about how like there's no one in this very popular restaurant. And I want to know, is that a
McDonald's.
part of this? Is that a part of the story? Is that
God
going to be
bless
something
you,
that they come
Steve.
back to and explain, or is that because the director needed to have like an in-universe explanation for why there were no people here? Like, what do you think, Matt? Is that part of the story, or was he covering for the fact that he had no extras?
Well, my personal take on it is I really want a 20-piece chicken nugget right now.
Oh, wait. What is the dipping sauce, though? This is a very important
I
question.
don't take dipping sauce, you fool.
What?
Yeah, Matt
no.
does not like condiments. Like anytime,
Are you
anytime I
crazy?
pick
That's
up,
right. He thinks salt is too flavorful.
Salt's
I forgot.
no,
no,
disgusting.
whenever like there have been times when we've been filmmaking where just to feed everybody, like I will go and just get like 20 double cheeseburgers from McDonald's just so people can take what they want. I always have to get a couple that are plain because Matt will not accept condiments
He's
on
like,
his
this
burgers.
bread is too spicy.
Disgusting. You guys are all freaks. I'm the one that's normal
Okay,
here.
I'm gonna ask the person with the flavor, like with taste buds. Steve, what is the correct dipping
Sweet and
sauce
sour.
for a McNuggie? Okay, all right.
See, if
Everyone
you need
knows the actual answer is hot mustard, but it's
No,
fine.
no.
It's
if you
fine.
need
No.
if you need a dipping sauce, that implies that the food is not good enough on its own. So
I mean,
No,
you have seen
the
pink slime,
nuggets,
right?
The nuggets complement the sweet and sour sauce and vice versa.
False.
Matt, your
Did you say
favorite fucking food is like
humplement?
white bread.
Borp,
Did you-
Borp.
That's too spicy for him. He can't handle the heat of a
I
Wonder
was about
Bread.
to call him
Eats like
Bulb.
spoonfuls of flour, and then he drinks
you
water.
shut up.
The
I
coolest
need to
stuff.
bring
Spicy!
I need to bring
spicy.
my Swedish correspondent into this conversation. Borp,
Okay.
you've had a chicken nugget, correct? Oh, yeah is the correct term.
Yeah.
Here.
Have you had a
Established
McNugget?
that. Okay, so Borp, what's superior? Just a chicken McNugget on its own, or dipping it in some sort of non-biased here, nasty, disgusting sauce? Which would you choose?
I'm actually not the biggest fan of chicken nuggets, so
All
I
right.
would want a
For
dipping.
fuck's sake, you just keep dropping in my eyes. Just constant. Like, the past hour and a half of watching this movie, whatever, and now this, Borp, I don't know.
There was two answers here. One, he was gonna raise an estimation in one team's side. He was like, no, third one where everybody's disappointed. Third answer.
I think chicken is kind of gross. I'm sorry.
What?
Well, good for you,
Yeah,
because
what?
McNuggets probably have 0%
Yeah.
chicken in
Okay.
them.
Probably.
Okay,
Yeah, that's true. That's
you want to
true.
hear a really funny, just side tangent, real quick here?
Obviously,
my birthday's
yes.
coming up.
Yeah,
My
let's
birthday's
make
coming
the
up.
show longer.
When is
Yeah,
your birthday?
Yeah, I'm not telling you.
I know
my
it,
birthday
Rachel,
is coming
but
up.
Matt won't let me
Okay.
tell you. Matt hates
Slide
it.
into the
Matt
DMs.
hates it that
Slide
I know
into
his
the
birthday.
DMs.
Can you guys shut up so I can tell
Slide
this
into
chicken
the
story,
DMs.
please? So
I'm gonna send balloons and a clown. It's gonna be amazing.
Jeez.
Jesus. And
So-
20-piece chicken McNuggies and some hot mustard.
So, let me finish the story, please. So, my mom's coming up for my birthday, and she's like, "I'm gonna take you out to wherever you want to eat. Where do you want to eat?" And so I'm
Because
telling
you
her,
won't let her in.
I'm telling,
Yeah,
I'm telling. Well, that's true. I'm not.
And
not
Matt's
lying.
like, where can I get the finest bread and glass of water in Lincoln,
I
Nebraska?
told my mom, I'm like, look, Mom, this is what we're doing. We're going to Long John Silver's, and I'm getting the chicken planks, and there's a combo Long John Silver's and Kentucky Fried Chicken here in town, and I'm gonna get original recipe KFC
This
chicken.
is why America
Boom.
is in decline.
This-
We're done as a people.
No, I'm with
You're
I'm
in
with Matt
decline,
on Long
Rachel.
John Silver's. Like,
When
get
you
some...
combine Long John Silver's and Kentucky Fried Chicken, like your culture
No,
is
it's so
bankrupt.
good.
It's
You
over.
get
It's
Long
so
John Silver's
great.
like once a year, and you get the fish
Yes.
and chicken planks, and it comes with some hush puppies.
Oh.
Hush puppies.
By
and
the
some
way, okay.
explosive diarrhea. Excellent.
This
America.
means when Rachel shows up, Steve, we're gonna get her some chicken planks from Long John Silver.
Listen, chicken plank. No, thank you.
It's delicious.
What part
So
of the
good.
chicken is a plank?
So this
The
movie,
best part.
Steve. Let's go back to the movie. God
So
damn.
this conversation started with you saying like, why are they making fun of McDonald's or Americans and McDonald's? Like this conversation, this exact
Yeah, but
conversation
we're
is
allowed
why.
to. It's
Yeah.
like when nobody can talk shit about your family.
Rachel's
but
not
you
American.
can.
She doesn't like Long John Silver's.
If that is a
I think
requirement,
she was
then
more
send me to
offended
Canada.
that one was combined with a KFC.
Yeah.
I mean, I just feel like it's
Look,
societal
Rachel,
decline.
variety is the spice of life, okay?
I don't know that Long John Silver's.
Long John Silver's is
KFC.
fucking great, and you are dropping in my eyes right now by continually combating me on
Long
this.
John Silver's is
Go with it.
fantastic,
Let's
but
fight.
also
Let's
KFC,
fight.
the extra crispy is better
Because
than the
there's
original
nothing
recipe.
like a seafood in a landlocked
Shut your
state.
fucking mouth.
It's wide
Let's
open.
talk about this bullshit. Amanda
yeah,
keeps
let's-
having visions of dead people, and so they go and find her parents in
I
this
see dead
weirdly unpopulated restaurant. They go back home, and then they give us another flashback, and Borp's like, "Fuck yeah, flashback!" He's very excited for the other flashback. And so the flashback is to the death of Amanda's father. Amanda and her father are at a beach. Amanda goes into the water. She almost drowns. Her father goes into the water and does drown while trying to rescue
Weird.
her. I see pictures
Weird
of planks.
scene.
Yeah.
Fucking A.
It's-
Hold
And
on,
then
hold on.
another random
Hold
guy
on.
runs in and actually rescues Amanda, and they determine that she had a near-death experience, and that allows her to have like a sixth sense. And they start talking about Bruce Willis and seeing dead people.
Yeah, and they make that joke like 3 times.
I can't-
Like,
have-
it's like Bruce Willis.
Rachel, have you ever eaten a Long John Silver's chicken plank? Have you ever been to Long John Silver's at all?
I mean, isn't that the like pirate seafood place?
Yes.
I mean, I live in a place near water, so I eat real seafood.
That
I
doesn't
don't know what to
matter.
tell you.
That does
You're
not
from
matter.
California, Matthew.
Yes!
You know better.
And I can even say,
What makes
look at
this
this.
a-
Look at
what
this
is-
In
in
our
the chat room.
Discord, there's pictures of chicken
There's a bit-
planks.
look-
It looks
Chicken
what
pigs
is
and
this
hush
weird
puppies.
corn garbage underneath it? This is
You're gonna eat it in May, so look
Well,
forward
just
to
look
it.
at it, eat it.
Listen, I can just aspirate my own vomit
We're gonna
from drinking too
we're gonna
much.
feed
Why
you.
would I eat
Oh
a
my god,
plank?
we're gonna feed you runzas. We're gonna feed
Oh,
you
no.
chicken
Okay,
planks.
I'm actually curious
No,
about
Runza's-
Runza
Runza's
because I
bad.
remember Jeffrey once said that he would take a bullet for Runza, so I'm curious about it.
Runza's
Jeff's
disgusting.
an idiot though.
I mean-
Runzas are like beef and cabbage hot pockets.
Yeah, and Rachel, you keep saying, "Oh, I live by the sea." Chicken does not come from the sea. These are chicken planks.
Yeah, I'm talking about Long John Silver's. Keep up, Matthew.
Yeah,
Jesus
Long John
Christ.
Silver's chicken planks.
Why do they have chicken? I see. I don't trust them with chicken. How could they are?
You will
seafoodery?
trust them in May.
They are a seafoodery. All right, listen. I will eat Long John Silver's if you eat a spoonful of ranch. Deal?
Oh my God! What?
No,
Listen.
Rachel, here's what we do. We prepare
what?
a dipping sauce flight, and Matt has to try
You're
all
right.
of them.
Yes, and then he has to choose his favorite. I love it, and they will mostly be mayonnaise based, but they would
oh,
also.
shit! You know what? I got COVID in May. I'm gonna have COVID in May.
I mean, you are in a red state, so I assume there's a.
It's too bad, guys. I have COVID in May.
Well, then
I'm
you
gonna
can't,
schedule
you can't,
my scope
you can't
COVID for
taste
that
any
weekend.
of it, so you should try it anyway.
There's your chance. You're Steven, look at you, genius.
He's dumb. Borp.
So,
Bring us
Borp,
back.
are you sure you don't want to come to Nebraska in May? Look at what you're missing out on. I'm gonna have Runzas.
Oh.
Matthew's gonna have a poo-poo platter of delicious condiments.
Jesus Christ.
Everybody's drinking mezcal and getting naked. Come on! It's
Borp,
gonna
do they
be
have
amazing.
Long John Silver's in Sweden?
No.
That's the name of the gay bar in Sweden.
Long John Sweden's.
Yeah.
And
I
you're-
went to
you're
this-
when you're talking about it, it sounds like a fake thing you would like talk about to make fun of me. So like, you're making Borp believe that the U.S. has pirate restaurants. That's very funny, guys.
No, it does.
Listen,
And it's
we are a
great
bankrupt
once a year.
culture. It is over.
Yeah, once a year. That's all. The only one I eat it once a year. Because you'll die if you eat it more than once a year.
You'll end up being strong bones, and then you'll die for Lisa's titties.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
God, let's talk about. All right, what happened? All right, so Amanda has a sixth sense now because her dad died in the weirdest flashback.
Ow.
They find a book that has, I guess, the names of orphans, and so they're gonna go back into the basement, and then Ashley goes back to talk to Jackson and tells Jackson that Amanda's been seeing the ghost of this little boy, and Jackson's like, "Oh, ghost of this little boy. We need to go investigate. Do you want to come, Ashley?" "Yeah, why not?" And so everybody's going back into the punishment
you wanna
basement.
Come, Ashley?
Into the punishment. That's what I call eating a chicken plank. The punishment basement.
Well,
That's what.
you're gonna
No,
become
the
a
chicken
believer,
plank is
Rachel.
going into the punishment basement at that point.
But what part of the chicken is the plank?
It
That's what I
doesn't
wanna
matter.
know.
It's all about the taste, and it
Is
tastes
it
great.
just the name? Because it's basically just like a chicken strip that they call a plank because
So,
it's pirate
I did a
themed.
Google
With the
and it says
wonderful-
it's something different. It says like chicken fingers, only better, according to the internet.
It's incredible, Rachel, and you're gonna become a believer in May.
All right.
So Matt's
Stupid.
gonna have a dipping sauce flight. Rachel is gonna have.
I never
Runza and
agreed to
chicken
that.
planks.
Well, listen, turnabout is fair play, sir. So,
And
I
I'm
feel
gonna
like
have better friends.
if you want me to insert a plank, you're gonna need to insert.
subscribe to your
Don't
OnlyFans.
never say that again.
You're gonna
Listen,
turn this
I
into an
said
article, aren't you?
What I said, Borp, and I don't appreciate.
My goal is Rachel's gonna come to Nebraska. She's gonna eat a chicken plank, and she's gonna go back to San Francisco, and she's gonna write an article about it, and she's gonna get all kinds of new
Dear
cash
San
in.
Francisco, you elite arugula eating, latte drinking
Yes.
motherfuckers.
Hold on, I'm gonna look to see if there's Long John
Insert
Silver's.
a plank or GTFO off
Yes.
this planet.
Insert a plank. That's a great phrase. We should just start saying that all the time.
I'm gonna tell that to Michael Dudikoff. Hang on.
Yes.
I just want to remind you, Borp, this is all your fault. If you don't like it, this is what you have brought.
Yeah, like this is.
You told me to drink at the beginning of the show.
yeah,
I was gonna try not to.
You know, like
I mean, you were gonna hear like 3 lines of dialogue and then open that goddamn whiskey.
Long John
I mean,
Silver's is at
But
Fisherman's
but
Wharf.
now I get to blame you.
I'm looking at. I just Google Long John Silver San Francisco. The first thing that pops up is Fisherman's Wharf.
Yeah, but I've told you that San Francisco is full of bed bugs and street poops. So, like, really, I don't know that this is.
Oh my!
I don't know if this is a winning argument, Matthew.
I want to email Long John Silver's. I'm like, I have a new ad for you guys. Insert a plank.
Can you believe you have invited me to your estate? You did this.
I did.
You're gonna get the live show. You've had the distance of the internet before.
See, I'm trying to figure out how we should plan out the time that you're here, because if we made a special trip to Grand Island, there's all kinds of amazing eats there. Bonsai pizza, like the best pizza. But I don't know. We'll figure it out. So with that, we'll talk about the next 15 minutes of this movie. We're gonna watch it. We're gonna watch it.
Yeah.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, chicken planks.
This is a movie podcast? I thought this was a food and booze podcast.
This 15 minutes got exciting.
Did it?
That sound is unacceptable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say I hear mouth
Sound with
noises.
it?
Not a good sound.
Not a good sound. That's
Okay.
upsetting. That is upsetting. You are going to need to pay with mini condiments, my friend.
Hey man,
So
what I
I
do in
took-
my
I
own
took a
punishment room is my
selfie.
business.
I took a selfie and I almost posted it in the chat, and then I realized the Photoshop potential and delete. I was
trust
very
us?
close.
Get
Absolutely
planked,
not.
Rachel. I would just Photoshop a nice chicken plank going wherever that photo allowed me to go.
The sad thing is it would have been so easy.
Yeah?
I was like, my finger hovered over the send button, and I was like, oh
Do
my
it.
god. What are you?
Do
Like,
it. Do
sober
it. Do
Rachel
it.
arose from the depths and said, no, don't do it. It's just going to be nothing but planks and other plank-shaped items being photoshopped over this.
It's like you have no faith in us.
I'll DM you, Steve. You tell me if it belongs in main chat.
All right, thank you. I appreciate that.
Oh, I see. Steve gets the special Rachel photos, but
It's
we
a
don't.
special
I see how it
plank
is.
photo.
So, Steve, what happened in this 15 minutes?
Absolutely nothing. The girls, I think I figured out her sister's name, Denise. So I think it's Amanda.
Yeah, they yell Denise a lot.
Yeah, Amanda and Denise continue to explore the punishment basement, and then they find like an additional room that apparently they hadn't seen before, and so they go in there and there's a dead body, and so Denise pukes, and then Jackson and Ashley show up, and you think, oh, they're here to help. But no, one of them pulls out a fucking crowbar and a gun, and they want the treasure for themselves. So this whole time, Jackson has been playing the long game against Amanda and her family. So
It's good writing.
He finds the treasure and locks Amanda and Denise in a different room of the spooky punishment basement. And then the ghost lady question mark kills both of them. Meanwhile, the spooky chimney sweep reappears behind Amanda and Denise.
No.
And they both
No.
scream, and then they look away, and then they both look back again, and now suddenly they realize the boy's name is Henry somehow, and so Amanda befriends ghost chimney sweep Henry, and Henry lets them out of the room, at which point the main ghost chases them all throughout their house and all throughout the punishment basement, and somehow captures Denise, and they nailed Denise to the wall, like the way like the slave children, which wasn't a phrase I was expecting to say today, were like
Weird, because it's my new ringtone.
the way they were like kind of like restrained in the room in like the first of now I think 18 flashbacks. Denise has been nailed to the wall, but she gets rescued. They also find, I guess the ghost just killed Ashley, but the ghost also like nailed Jackson to the wall in the same way, and they don't save Jackson. Instead, the ghost comes and rips his face off. Uh, uh, Nothing much happens. This whole like 15 minutes, like 13 minutes of it, where the ghost slowly chasing the girls around as they scream and run to a different room, and then scream and run to a different room, and then scream and run to a
Yeah.
different room. Nothing happened in this 15 minutes of note.
They're having a real hard problem, a hard time getting out of this basement, which is
Rachel, that's a perfectly acceptable photo. I don't know why you don't trust us with that.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Perfectly acceptable. It's fine.
There's a tone issue here that Daniel has a problem
Yes,
with.
that's the problem. It's the tone. It's
It's
the
the
tone.
tone.
That's the problem. You nailed
There's
it.
a tone problem where the two girls are screaming at each other. One of them's like, "We gotta get out of here now!" And the other person's not. And then the chimney sweep boy shows up, and they immediately, "Oh, hi, how's it going?" And they've completely like,
There's some
they're
mood
calm.
whiplash throughout this
Yeah.
entire movie, but it's very noticeable when Henry the chimney sweep ghost shows up.
Yeah.
yeah. Also, this segment just it's way too dark. You can't see anything.
Yeah, I was told I would see and hear things.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I
I
feel
was
like
told I would
50% of the promise has been kept.
We have nothing to say because nothing happened in this 15 minutes. I feel like I'm ready to just end it. There's 18 minutes left, so I think we just go to the end. And it also looks like I'm kind of just scrolling through on the progress bar, guys. It looks like there's a stinger.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, Borp's excited.
Those credits.
Yeah, let's see. I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
So it
There-
might be some. Might be some more-
Interest.
might
So
be-
there's
I
probably
didn't-
child abuse.
Yeah, I was gonna say
That's what
might
I'm
be
hearing.
something horrible.
something
Is there a
something
sequel to
happens
this movie?
after the credits. That's all I can tell you.
Okay.
But I'm ready. Let's see how many more flashbacks they can fit into this next 18 minutes.
There's no sequel to this, but I can see the director's next movie is in the like recommendations bar. And that movie's called Black Death. That's gonna be good.
This will be a thing.
How
Every
many
time Borp is
black-faced
on, we
children?
just continue to go through this director's filmography.
Rachel, he's
Matthew,
just dirty.
Matthew.
He's just dirty. They showed that kid
I feel
in
like
the
that's
past,
even
and he
worse.
was not.
Yeah.
Oh boy! All right, let's start the final 18
Yeah,
minutes.
Let's stop talking so there'll be less stuff to cut out.
Borp really wants this on. He really wants this episode to go.
You're not gonna take this away from me.
Listen, Borp, you had the chance. I was sober 2 hours ago. You could have told me, stay the course, Rachel, stay strong. But you said, no, pour yourself some whiskey and or mezcal. And here we are. This is the future that you
Play.
What? What's the problem? Where's the mute button? There it is. You better behave!
Watch out!
Oh my giddy on.
Yep, that sure was the thing that we watched.
Yeah.
Here I thought Borp liked us. This has been a long game.
I know.
I'm trying to like what actually happened during this segment. Like they continue to be chased by the ghost. The parents finally come home and find their daughters like just dirty and injured and bloody.
Well, they're running out of the house. They're like, stuff is bad in the house. They're like, all right, let's go back inside
The
the house
parents
and drag them back
still
in
don't
there.
believe them. Their fucking daughter Denise has the goddamn stigmata, and they're like, no, this is fine. This is clearly normal Swedish stuff going on here. It's fine. Don't worry about it. But then Henry, chimney sweep, shows up in the middle of the room and like reveals himself to everyone, and so now everyone now knows, okay, the ghosts are fucking real. And so they go back into the basement to find dynamite to blow up the house. which will apparently get rid of the spirits. But the main ghost lady begins hunting them, and at first you think the ghost like kills the stepdad, but later on he just shows up on the first floor and he's acting weird. So it's like, is he possessed? Is he now a ghost? Is he the main ghost in disguise? Nope, he was apparently just a normal, still human being, because the ghost then kills him later on. So the ghost took Bruce the stepdad and just took him upstairs and left him there, and then came back down to the basement to go after Amanda and Denise and Mom. Uh, but eventually the ghost kills stepdad. The ghost kills Denise, so Amanda has this entirely like disposable step family. Uh, the mom picks up an axe and starts swinging it at the ghost, who just disappears into a ball of fire whenever the mom gets close. But eventually, Amanda and Mom succeed in blowing up the house with dynamite, and then it cuts to some time later, and the two of them are like in a new home. They're sitting on a couch, and they're both like, "Man, it sure does suck what happened to our step family. Anyways, I'm sleepy. I'm gonna go to bed." And so Amanda.
Oh, I thought you were actually saying that. Like, I thought we were done.
I was like, I gotta pee, you gotta sleep, let's wrap it up.
I thought she was like, anyway, I'm sleepy. I'm going to bed.
No, that's what happens. Like they have this very non-emotional conversation. Like they just lost. The mom lost her spouse. Yeah. Amanda lost her stepsister Denise that she seemed to be close to, and they're like, "Oh, shucks.
Tell me, there's a tone
it's a shame
here?
They couldn't be here." And so Amanda goes to bed, and then there's a stinger where now Chimney Sweep is just a ghost following her around, and Amanda seems cool with this. She has no problem with Chimney Sweep being there. And then Amanda looks up and screams, and that's the movie.
Yep. That's the end.
We don't see what she sees.
Yeah, we have no idea.
Nope.
Is the main ghost still there? I have no fucking clue. She just screams at something while Chimney Sweep like creepily like sits under her bed. Thoughts?
Yeah, and that's
House of Orphans 2. We gotta watch that to find out what happens.
Yeah.
Did they ever find a treasure?
I don't think the main character.
The treasure was the friends they made along the way, Matthew.
Yes. The treasure was the step family that got killed along the way. No, I think Jackson and Ashley found the treasure, but I don't know that anyone else did.
What was the treasure?
I don't know.
Just the money? Like, I mean, you were paying attention. Yeah. What was it? I couldn't see with all the shaky cam going on.
No.
Orphan blood. That was the treasure. Jesus.
This movie was bad. Bad. I'll never forgive Borp for it. And
I'll never remember the movie.
Yeah. Well, I'll remember 15 minutes of the movie. That's the thing. There's 15 minutes of this movie that I'm going to remember. I'm going to associate with Bort for the rest of my life. So.
Yeah. Whenever you think of Borp, think of beheading orphans.
Think of sepia-toned orphan abuse.
Orphan slaves that are being sold to people. That's what Borp did to us.
Let me see what the actual IMDb synopsis of this movie is. Okay, let me bring it up here.
Stupid bullshit happens.
Here, this is from the director himself, Daniel Lehmusaari. Summary: a couple with their daughter move into their dream home. What they don't know is that the house has previously been an orphanage! The orphanage was selling child labor or sex slaves.
Oh, Jesus.
The couple who ran the operation were revealed and executed, but before they died, the woman pronounced a curse on both the city and the orphanage. The orphanage burned down, but the foundations remained. On that basis, they rebuilt the house again. So we had sex slaves. Not only did we had child abuse, but child sex slaves in this as well.
Wonderful.
So there you go. From the director.
Also, it's a comedy.
And it's a comedy.
This is what Swedes laugh at. I just want to remind you that Christmas is Donald Ducks and abused orphans is the peak of ha-has in the nation of Sweden.
Sweden's okay. Weird, man. Yeah,
does Sweden need a hug? I mean, I've tasted your candy.
They need NATO. That's what they need.
I don't know. Maybe we need some more McDonald's over here.
You
Correct.
need the
Insert a
planks.
plank of pink slime, and you'll be good to go.
Hold on. I'm going to Google Long John Silver's
I
sweet.
do
here.
really
I
want
gotta
some
see.
McNuggets now. Don't McNuggets
Yeah.
sound great? With some sweet and
Yeah,
sour
I'm
actually-
sauce?
Hot mustard.
I mean, hot mustard's probably fine. It's no sweet and sour.
It's delicious. Have you had hot mustard?
Not on a McNugget.
Well, then you
What kind of
haven't
question is
lived,
that? What kind
sir.
of guy you think I am, not having hot mustard?
I mean, I'm just saying, if you haven't had it on a McNugget, have you ever had it? I don't think so.
Very deep discussion.
Listen, it's either this or orphan blood. Pick your poison,
What
sir.
about a McNugget dipped in orphan blood?
Right before we started recording, I was talking to a friend over the phone, and I said, I'm going to make the Americans, as I call you guys to my Swedish friends. I'm going to make the Americans watch The House of Orphans, and she was quiet for a little bit. Then she went, oh no.
I'm just imagining like a subtitle that just says like laughs in Swedish. Like
I feel like you're like on a self-destructive path here. Are you trying to burn bridges with all
he's
of the Americans?
He's testing our friendship. He's like, let's see if they really.
Well,
Or
love
what
me.
do
Yeah.
your Swedish friends know about your American friends?
They know you make indie micro-budget horror films.
Have you shown any of them?
So
to
what?
them?
Am I a secret? Am I a secret?
No,
You don't
no,
tell
they-
them about
they
me?
know- No.
You were just about to tell Rachel to shut up, weren't you?
Wow.
I heard, shh, and then you caught yourself. It's
I
okay.
see how it is.
It's okay. Shut up, Rachel. See, I said it. It's all right.
Wow, Matthew. You know what? You talk a lot of shit from like 500 miles away, but wait till I'm in your face.
With a plank.
I'm
With
just.
a plank.
I'm gonna sit like at the end of the
I've
couch,
also-
very
It's just
quiet.
gonna be dripping in ranch. Insert.
Yeah, I'm gonna barf all over the fucking place. That's what's gonna happen. Make sure you get that on
I've
video.
also told them about you, Rachel, and how you have a real big important job. And that-
Oh God. So you lied.
amazing-
Okay.
Yeah, that's you're talking to us Jahoos, and then you're going to
Jahoos. What's a Jahoo?
Oh no, that is my new favorite word. For screw jabroni, you all are jahoos from here on out.
Wait, let me Google that to make sure it's
Oh
not
my God.
something
That
problematic.
is the
for-
name of our band, Rachel and the Jahoos.
Oh God.
We're opening for the House of Orphans. It'll be amazing.
Did I just? Okay, high five.
No, I like it. No, Borp, 10 out of 10.
Jahoos.
Would call them that again.
Jahoos.
Jahoos.
Okay, all right. Okay,
I think you meant to say
Goobers.
Yahoos.
No.
But he said
He said it
Jahoos.
right. He said it correctly. Jahoos.
Speaking of people not understanding how Y's and J's work, there was one point in the movie where someone tried to say jail and it came out as Yale and they didn't fix it. It was weird. Weird. Problematic.
Problematic.
I don't know what else to say. I have no other words. I have no other mental energy to commit to House of the Goddamn Orphans.
The last thing I want to ask is, Borp, do you want to apologize to us, or I mean, the floor is yours.
I'm gonna be honest and say I still had a pretty good time.
What's wrong?
Yeah. All right.
Borp, is this,
night, everybody.
is this worse?
Yeah.
I
Borp,
didn't say it,
on.
Steve.
thank you for
I didn't
joining
say
us. We're very happy that you
Oh,
joined
thanks
us.
for having me. This was great. We'll talk again. and
What
see
time
if-
is it
Will
out
we?
there?
That-
Will we?
it's for.
It's very presumptuous of you.
We have
it's
so
4 a.m.
much.
We'll see. We'll try again next time and see if that one makes it to the air.
Third time's the charm.
That's
See,
it.
the
We're
Vulcan
done.
mind melt.
Thank you for listening.
Yes.
We'll
We are one,
be back
Matthew. We are
later.
one.
Rachel will probably still be drunk. Good night.